So we're in San Augustine, Florida. We're gonna go and see what is going on with the trolley ride. There's a lot around here, so we'll see what we have. Are these shoes really bite resistant? Who's willing to try it out? The old jail. Battersfield. I don't know about this.
It's got to say jail on it. G-A-I-L. Jail. You got your paperwork? Where you guys from? What area, Florida? Oh, all right. Welcome to St. Augustine. We can't do that. You guys have tickets?
The Castillo de San Marcos National Monument was built by the Spanish in St. Augustine to defend Florida and the Atlantic trade route. This monument preserves the oldest masonry fortification in the continental U.S.
Wall of palm tree trunks. This wall is called the Cubo Line. Now, the Cubo Line used to run east and west along the city, and it intersected with the Rosario Line, which looked just like it and ran north and south. These two walls, they encompass the entire city, creating something known as a walled city. Another name for that is a presidio. Now, ladies and gentlemen, flanking the wall to its left but our right, if you look, you'll see yucca plants. They're also known as Spanish bayonets. These plants are sharp, and the Spaniards used them for that. that reason, it's an added layer of defense. See, if you try and crawl through them, there's a good chance you'll get cut to ribbons. Now, the cross street here, Cordova Street today, but back then it's where the Rosario line and the Cubo line intersected, creating that Presidio.
Heard the bell, safely exit to your right towards the sidewalk, turning around to go down backwards as you're climbing down a ladder. Open the handles and upgrades. So the oldest house is here to your right, the white with the green. And this was built, so the attack in 1702, the military attack that devastated the town, and it was right after that that they built the wall around the city. Thank you, folks. And that's when they also started to use the coquina.
The oldest house, also known as the Gonzalez Alvarez House, has been around for over 3 centuries. The oldest house museum complex and gardens includes the oldest house and the Tovar House. You can come here and purchase tickets to see both houses and learn a lot about the history of this area, including the people that lived here over the centuries.
Stay the same. In fact, one of the maps will show the wall around the city, which is pretty cool. They also do have a museum. This used to be an active archaeological site, so it'll show you a lot of the artifacts they found in and around the property. Tell you a little timeline of the history as well. Here to our right, that is the St. Francis Barracks. That originally was a Franciscan friary. Today it's the headquarters for the Florida National Guard. Now down at the end of the barracks here down this street is the National Cemetery. And inside the National Cemetery, along with the white headstones in formation, you're going to find
directly across from the Florida National Guard, you can see the St. Francis Barracks.
And no glass in the windows to prevent that air from coming in. But ladies and gentlemen, if there isn't any glass, everything's coming in, including mud. So you're in through the courtyard, you see a fire pit. Now 9 times out of 10, that's burning. See, the smoke from the fire would drive the bugs back out of your house, but it also drove out their lungs. These people did not live very long. Now, ladies and gentlemen, up here on the left, you're going to see a sign that says DJ's Clam Shack and Seafood. This is a wonderful place to get a bite to eat. I actually ate here for the first time.
Really good.
The guy just from Boston, he said get the lobster roll. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm from Virginia. I didn't order them. I got the roll. It was wonderful. That's when I learned the guy who owns the place is also from Boston. He imports the lobsters from up there. He uses a family recipe. Clam chowders made with Ipswich clams, only found in Boston. Another family recipe, also very good. Now to your right, you'll see openings in the white wall with wooden slats in them. This is what the windows used to look like before the British arrived. They're the ones who added the second floors, the front doors, and the glass.
More shopping and food. Old Town St. Augustine, or historic St. Augustine.
street from the lighthouse is the Alligator Farm. You also have St. Augustine Amphitheater. Has great concerts out there. You've got Fort Matanzas, or to get up there. Of course, another 219 steps to get back down to the bottom. Now, they do have every 2 flights or so, there is a little landing. You can kind of stop and take a break, and I know that because that's what I do. But they do have things on the ground. There's a museum. You go through the bottom part of the lighthouse and also the lake.
So this is the house of the old lighthouse. And then if you come on around, you see the St. Augustine Lighthouse. St. Augustine. Heading to the beach. So we got Ocean Hammock Park. We're gonna take the walkway to the park. These homes, very nice. Getting closer, I can hear the water. The Atlantic Ocean once again, this time from Florida.
Around town. Now, staying in this hotel for free back in the day, it was a thing, but you did have to become president. This is insured today for $130 million. It's in a college. It's still intact. Bulletproof glass, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see one of the generators that used to generate the electricity here, they're on display, but now you're headed for Washington, D.C. They're in the Smithsonian Institute up there. But while you're up there, let's not forget to wave hello. Crystal, solid crystal floor to ceiling lamps combined with much bigger space and chandeliers and water towers. If it's made out of crystal, it's up there. If you're disembarking at stop number 9, handhelds and or 10, sorry, handhelds and uprights backing down like you would back down a ladder. Either side is okay. Please wait for that bell.
The St. Augustine Distillery was founded by 20 St. Augustinian families with a common vision. They wanted to create world class spirits and leave St. Augustine better for future generations. They took the old ice plant, transformed it, and preserved it.
We are here making bourbon, gin, vodka, and rum here in Florida. So, are you a bourbon drinker?
Yes, not a big one, but
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Some people coming in there.
So if you've never tasted a sugarcane vodka, I always encourage our guests that once you get to the very last tasting there at the bourbon bar, just ask them if you can taste this. They're just going to give you a little taste, but I think you'll be really surprised how tasty it is. And then you can say you've tasted a sugarcane vodka before.
And how different is the sugar cane?
It's not sweet. It's not a sweet vodka. It's just really smooth and tasty. Then we pair it with our Florida Mule mixer. Our Florida Mule mixer is an all-natural mixer, just like all of our mixers are. It has fresh ginger root, fresh lime juice, sugar cane juice, and a dash of cayenne pepper for that mule kick. So let's get some taste.
Right, I am loving the t-shirt. Heading on into the wine.
Family Bible, also on display at the Civil Rights Museum next door. Now, I saw Cora on her birthday. They were having a birthday party for her on the grounds of the Civil Rights Museum. I came around the corner with a slam trolley, not a seat available on it. I slowed that trolley when I saw her. We all got to sing happy birthday to her. That was super cool. She enjoyed it as well. The cross street we're approaching is Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, one of only two in the United States he actually marched down. The other one is in Atlanta, Georgia. Bear with me as we round this corner. We're entering a quiet zone.
I had a chance to talk with many people, some of whom are considered some of the very outstanding leaders and people of our nation. I believe that I was utterly
We're at Lincolnville Museum and Cultural Center. It was established in 2003. It was Excelsior High School, which was established in 1924. We will find out more about that as we enter the museum. Unfortunately, I was not allowed to videotape. I'll tell you more about the history later.
June 1st, 1861, President Abraham Lincoln delivers the Emancipation Proclamation freeing the slaves. Many of these newly freed slaves flocked to St. Augustine, specifically this section of St. Augustine, which back then was known as Little Africa. And they did so on the government promise of land and a mule. Now, if you were an early arrival, you might have received that mule. Some of the Union soldiers returning home to the north. But the mule was really more rumor than fact. Most people only received the land. Now, let's fast forward a moment to 1868.
So as I show you pictures of Lincolnville and the Freedom Trail, which is a walking tour that you can experience, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Excelsior High School. As I said, they began creating it in 1924. However, its doors opened in 1925 as the first Black public high school in St. Johns County. It operated for over 40 years and only closed because of desegregation. There are several notable alumni, including Otis Mason. His mother was a teacher there. He graduated in 1946 and went on to become the first Black superintendent of St. Johns County. There's also Henry and Cantor Twine. They were graduates. Henry became the first Black vice mayor of St. Augustine as well. You're going to see in these pictures a gentleman that was one of the desegregators that left Excelsior High School in sixth grade and became a part of the predominantly white high school in the area. He had some amazing stories to tell and wrote a book. I'll put a link to that book in this video. So we finished our trolley tour and we got our bikes, and we are now looking forward to seeing a little bit of the old town, St. Augustine, having dinner and just enjoying the rest of the evening. Ready for